Nitya, Department of Mathematics, SNS College of Technology. In today's class, we are going to have standard distributions. So there are two types of distributions. The first one is discrete and the second one is continuous. So under discrete distributions, we are going to have two distributions. First one is binomial and the second one is Poisson. Okay, so the first thing is we are going to see what is meant by a Bernoulli trial. So we will have a trial. So for each trial we will have a possible outcomes. Then we are going to denote that success as P and the failure as Q. Such a trial which is known as Bernoulli trial. Okay. The next thing is we are going to see the definition of binomial. So when we say a random variable which is binomial distribution, so under certain conditions we are going to have probability mass function. So which is P of capital X equal to X, NCX, P power X, Q power N minus X, and X from 0 to N and P plus Q as 1. Okay. And the next thing is what are the properties we are going to have under binomial. So there are three properties you ought to remember. The first thing is we need to fix the number of trials, and the second thing is we need to have all trials must have identical probabilities of the success, and all the trials must be independent. So these are the 3 points you ought to remember. Okay, now we are going to have the derivation part of MGF, mean and variance. So the first, already we know the concept MGF. So using the formula, now we are going to derive the derivation part of MGF of binomial distribution. Okay. Now summation from x equal to 0 to infinity e power tx p of x. So which is the general formula. Now replace what is p of x, which is probability mass function for binomial distribution. So which is ncx p power x q power n minus x. And you can take then ncx outside, then you combine the common power as x, which is p into e power t the whole power x, then q power n minus x, x from 0 to n. Now replace the values for x starting from 0 till n. Okay, now the first thing is replace x as 0. So nc naught p e power t the whole power 0, q power n minus 0 plus replace x as 1. So we get nc1 p e power t the whole power 1 and q power n minus 1. Then the next thing is x has 2. So nc2 p e power t the whole square, q power n minus 2 plus etc. ncn p e power t the whole power n. Okay, so we need to simplify the first and last term, and you can keep the remaining term as it is. So the first thing is we get q power n, and the last thing is we get p e power t the whole power n. The remaining is as it is. Now it's an expansion, binomial expansion. So we already know the binomial expansion, so which is q plus p the whole power n as q power n plus nc1 q power n minus 1 into p plus etc. The last term should be p power n. So which is the binomial expansion. Now you compare this term with the last. Okay, then what is the value for p and q? So q is nothing but the same q, and what is the term for p? So which is p e power t. Okay, so we are getting the binomial expansion as q plus p e power t the whole power n. So which is MGF. Okay, the next thing is we are going to find a mean. So which is e of x equal to d by dx of mx of t, and replace t as 0. Okay, we already know the concept, right? Using MGF, how to find the value of mean and variance. The same thing here also we are going to apply. Okay, so the first thing is we need to differentiate this mx of t with respect to t and replace t as 0. So with respect to t means I have to see only t terms. Okay, the remaining all are constant. So which is of the form x power n. So what is the derivative for x power n? Yes. So which is n into x power n minus 1. You can use the formula n into q plus p e power t the whole power n minus 1. Again how to differentiate q plus p e power t, which is p into e power t. And finally replace t as 0. Okay. So n into p. So q plus p e power t becomes 1 because we are replacing t as 0, right? Am I right? Yes. So which is np into p plus q the whole power n minus 1. So p plus q is what? Yes. The value is 1. So 1 power n minus 1. So 1 power n minus 1 is always 1. So we get np mean as np. Okay. The next thing is we need to find variance. Now tell me the formula. Yes. So variance of x is e of x square minus e of x the whole square. Already we done a of x. Now we are going to find e of x square. So the formula is d square by dt square of mx of t. Replace t as 0. Now we need to find the second derivative. Already we done first derivative. So one more time we need to differentiate the last derivative with respect to t. So that's why we are rewriting the term like this. So d by dt of, you can write the whole thing as it is. So which is np into q plus p e power t the whole power n minus 1 a power t. Finally replace t as 0. Now take np as outside because it is constant, right? And you can check where are you are having t terms. So in both cases you are having t terms, that means we need to use product rule. So q plus p e power t the whole power n minus 1 into differentiation of e power t is same e power t plus e power t into, now we need to differentiate this term, so which is n minus 1 into q plus p e power t the whole power n minus 1, n minus 2. Then differentiate the bracket term with respect to t, so we get p into e power t and replace t as 0. Okay, so the next thing is np into, okay, replace t as 0, that means e power becomes 1. Just leave the term e power because that becomes 1, right? So q plus p the whole power n minus 1 plus n minus 1 into p and into q plus p the whole power n minus 2. So we know the result, right? P plus q as 1. You just leave the term. So np into 1 power n minus 1 plus n minus 1 into p into 1 power n minus 2. Okay, so np into 1 plus n minus 1 into p. You just simplify the term, then only we get e of x square. Okay, so np into 1 plus np minus 1. Just multiply this np inside the bracket. So we get np plus n square p square minus np square. Okay. Now use the formula variance of x as e of x square minus e of x the whole square. You just have the term e of x square as it is, and minus e of x we already done. You just take the square of that. So which is n square p square. Just cancel n square p square and write the remaining thing. So which is np minus np square. Just take, is there any common term? Yes. So we'll have np as common. Take outside and write the remaining thing as 1 minus p. So we already know the concept p plus q as 1. So finally we write this 1 minus p as q. So okay. So now we got MGF, mean and variance. Okay. The remaining thing we will see in the next class. Thank you.